Hi, I'm Anthony Duffy, and welcome to the wonderful world of Agile methodology. Who talks like that? Like really? Really? Anybody talk like that? Come on. So, your project is mid-cycle. Things seem like they're going okay, but are they? Are your team members succeeding? Do you have any blockers? Is the project going to finish on time? Seems stressful? It doesn't have to be. Today we're going to look at Agile methodologies and the approach to mid-project personal retrospectives one-to-one. Are you ready? Let's do it. Traditionally, feedback often comes too late, after the project is completed or through peers or co-workers who have moved on to other things, at a time where it's not productive and not useful towards advancing the project and advancing yourself personally. However, there are different ways to approach it. One way to approach retrospectives is to be ruthless, to lay it all on the line, to put people in their place and say it how it is. Trump face.
Okay, alright, so we have a deadline. Right, this is our deadline. See?
I see.
Deadline.
I know what
Hold on. This is a deadline. Do you understand what deadline means?
I understand.
Do you
You're
understand?
talking about understanding. What you need to understand.
Me.
What you need to understand
Me.
is that you're not even on
I-
time to work every day.
I speak English.
You don't even,
Understand?
honestly, you don't.
You're French.
Honestly,
First of all, you're French.
You don't even know what a deadline is.
You have a disability? You don't even speak English. You're like disabled.
Do you
Seriously.
know? Do you
Like
know
anyway,
you are? Like,
I didn't even know why we're having this
I
conversation.
cannot
This doesn't make any
even-
sense.
I can't even-
This doesn't make any sense. You're
you do not
crazy.
make-
You know what? Forget it. Forget it. Anyway, whatever.
Okay, so we have a job to do. Everybody has work to do. This is your task, right? This here is something you're supposed to have done. Should be finished already. How long does it take to do something? Huh? How long? Really? How long does it take? You're just waiting forever just to do one simple thing. See what it says right here? Are you looking? Are you looking? You should do it. You know what? Keep it right there. That's what I'm saying? Whoa!
Yeah, maybe that's not the best way to run a retrospective. So there must be a better way, right? Let's take a look. Okay, so the Agile way is more positive and more constructive. You're going to list out, first of all, the positives about a person. The next thing you're going to do are list deltas, which are not negatives, but rather things that could be done a little bit better. To help that along, you're now going to mention some inspirations, some ideas that can make those deltas into a positive one day. In addition, you will finish off by putting a pretty bow on it by mentioning a nice thank you to that person for something they did in the project or overall throughout the scope. So, let's break it down and take a look at the right way to do a retrospective. First, let's set the scene. Using a whiteboard, or if you do not have one, a wall space, create 4 columns and as many rows as you have team members for the retrospective. You can use painter's tape to create the lines. Have a team member help you stretch the tape across the wall. It's always a good practice to incorporate other team members into your exercises. Keeps everyone involved and feeling fresh. Okay, so using post-it notes, put the name of each team member in any random order along the rows. Next, along the columns, add 4 icons. The first is a plus to symbolize positives, things that you really think are a plus point of your teammate. Next is a delta, like a triangle, symbolizing not a negative, but an element that you think could improve with some help and support. Speaking of that help and support, the next column is symbolized by a light bulb, a bright idea of how you think your teammate can improve the delta, a form of positive reinforcement, something productive that aims to help rather than to simply criticize. Finally, a bouquet of flowers, which symbolizes an overall thank you, which ends on a totally kind note, where you can mention an instance or an overall theme of what you'd like to thank a given teammate for. So now that we've set the scene, let's get into the exercise in detail. Ready? Okay, so step 1 involves all team members independently writing down up to 3 positives, 3 deltas, 3 inspirations, and 3 thank yous about a given team member. It is not essential to have 3 in each category, but a minimum of 1 should be suggested in order for the exercise to be productive. A key point to mention here is that even the team member who is being evaluated participates in his or her evaluation. In order to have everyone thinking on their feet, a 5-minute time box is implemented to keep the ideas flowing and the exercise finishing on time. Alright, so now that we've gathered our thoughts and recorded them on stickies, Whoever is first to be evaluated speaks about him or herself firstly. This is not typical in most evaluation processes. Usually, we only hear what the boss thinks about us, a one-way conversation. In an Agile retrospective, you totally want to hear from the person being evaluated. By letting him or her go first, the other team members gain incredible insight into what makes him or her tick, what they think they're good at, what they're insecure about, and how they think others can help them conquer these goals. And finally, what they are most thankful to their teammates for. Often you will find this makes people shy or nervous, avoiding eye contact. To help soften these situations, smile, show support. Over 90% of communication is nonverbal, so show a thumbs up or tell your teammate how much you love to hear from them. In these scenarios, you're bound to learn something new about a teammate that you never realized. It's really quite cool. Now that a given team member has evaluated him or herself, it's time for the others in the team to add to the wall. Let's get into some examples of each column. An example of a plus. The pluses can be of a very narrow, specific technical instance or of a more overall arcing theme in the team member's character. Some examples: you're extremely organized and efficient. You're always smiling. You work so hard so that we can succeed. An example of a delta. Remember that deltas aren't negatives. They are constructive ideas that you want to pass along to a team member, and note about what you think they have the potential to achieve greater in, over time with some help from your teammates. Some examples: you're sometimes late for scrum, sad face. Adding the emotion helps to set the tone. You have great ideas. I wish you would be more assertive. We need you. You're very quiet. Note that language is powerful, so carefully sculpt your delta in a productive manner. An example of inspiration or bright idea. Often in evaluations, and note the term evaluation is very judgmental, unlike retrospective, which is more reflective and constructive. Evaluations are often a criticizing session, without any real positive outcome. In Agile team retros, the inspiration column is for you to suggest how you believe your teammate can turn a delta into a positive. Some examples: for the delta of punctuality, set your alarm 10 minutes earlier. Smiley face. Again, positive emotions. For the delta of could be more vocal, an inspiration could be once a week you lead Scrum so that your voice is noticed. And for the delta of bringing ideas to the client, a suggestion would be, I think you should attend more client meetings. An example of a thank you. To round off the retro, each team member concludes with the fourth column, a thank you. This is a from-the-heart message to a teammate to show appreciation. Again, the purpose of the retro is to make everyone individually better, and for the team and the project to fire on all cylinders. So it's about positivity in the end. This approach ensures that feedback never ends with any non-positive vibe. Some examples: you make me feel great about the project. Thank you for texting me back late at night when I need help. A more general one: thank you for always being helpful and positive even when things aren't going well. This is a chance for each team member to show a from-the-heart message that will make everybody feel better about themselves and about the project. Alright, so there you have it. Now you know how to do a mid-project retrospective one-to-one on everybody in your team, and how you can do it in a positive way that will bring about the most benefit. Rather than have someone put in a room sweating in front of their boss, or rather than have people fight or point fingers and play the blame game, this is a constructive, positive way to build team chemistry and to get things out there that normally would not appear. Things that people normally wouldn't say. This is a way, a fun way to get it out there and for people to move forward together, collectively, positively. This is Agile. I'm Anthony Duffy. Thank you for watching.